All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, our next guest is a talented comedian and a talk show host. She's been on The Tonight Show, Late Night with Seth Meyers, Comedy Central, Inside Amy Schumer. She's just fantastic. I'm so glad she made it over here. Please welcome Nikki Glaser, everybody. Come on in.
Hi. You were great. You're great. Hi.
Hi, Nikki.
How's it going?
It's going great. Thank you for hustling up here.
Yeah, no, I got to see like the whole show. I made it here in a great time. I got to see Jessica's song and from the rest of the show. It was awesome.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I want to know how did you really end up on the highway?
Yeah.
And you were stuck there for 2 hours?
Stuck there for hours. Just
Oh my God!
back and forth between
That's
911
amazing.
And weeping, hoping.
And they kept sending you 311, 911. That I love that song.
And I got a ticket.
And you got a ticket in the end.
Right,
Wow.
what you know, that's what they say.
It was awesome. I loved it.
Well, now, Nikki, something that I happened to find out is that you have some origins in the great state of Ohio. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, I was born there
Born
and
in
raised there,
Cincinnati,
kind
and
of.
Then what, you had to take off because of some conflict with Nick Lachey?
Yeah, it was all about him, all about the Lachey brothers. And no, my dad got a job in St. Louis, so we packed up and moved when I was like in first grade to St. Louis.
So fairly early
Yeah,
on.
but
who else is from Clooney?
Clooney from,
Also
he
from
is,
Cincinnati.
yes.
He and Nermal, both on my list.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Because I think we should have a little bit of fluidity around our sexuality when it comes to celebrities.
Right?
And so if it ever comes to pass,
those are on your list.
Those are on the list.
Oh, okay.
If I was fortunate enough.
Yeah. Oh, Clooney's on everyone's list.
I think
He's
so.
taken now.
Isn't that disappointing?
Oh, it is. But he
My
found
goodness.
a good one. At least she's age appropriate. I like that about
Seems okay,
her.
but then she blew off the family reunion.
Oh, did she?
She did.
Oh, according to Us Weekly.
That's right.
What do they know? I'm
What
making
do
stuff
they
up.
know? I tell you, we got a lot of, I want to circle back to the unisex bathroom at work because that was such a fun thing to talk about.
Yeah.
That's the way I keep current with all the pop culture stuff is because we have a couple of very water-stained Us Weeklies and People
And
magazines.
In Touch and all that
In
stuff,
Touch,
yeah.
so as long as it happened about 3 months ago, I'm up to date.
Okay, great.
have a
So
bit.
J-Lo and Casper, they broke up. I hate to tell you. You're going to get to that
My world is shattered.
in September. You'll find that out. But I just want to give you a little spoiler right now.
Thank you for preparing me for that because
It's
it would have really taken
Yeah, I
the
just
wind
want you
out
to
of my
be
sails.
up with stuff. Yeah.
I appreciate
Yeah.
that. I appreciate that. Now, Nikki, of course, you I've been a fan for a while. You had a podcast
Yes.
with Sarah Schaefer
I
that
did.
was called You Had to Be There.
Yes.
And that took place, what, in somebody's living room?
Yeah, in Sarah's apartment in her living room in Clinton Hill.
And
Yeah.
so how long ago was that was
That felt a lot like this actually. It because we had like a small audience, not to this would have been huge for us, but yeah, we had it in our living room, and then we would just interview comedians like every podcast, and get drunk and just have a good time.
Not bad.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
But then you were able to really move it into a
Yeah.
full-on talk show on
Yeah.
MTV,
It
Nikki and Sarah Live.
Yeah, it was, we kind of developed we met one night at a comedy party, and we instantly came up with the podcast the first conversation we had.
Yeah.
So
What's
we
a
were never really
comedy party?
I've never been to one since is the thing. It was like at
I've never
Brian
heard of it.
Baldinger's apartment, of all people. He's like a booker for Montreal and many other things, but he had like a housewarming party, and we were just eating hummus and meeting each other for the first time, and we were like, God, everyone has a comedy podcast, and we were like, I want one. She was like, I do too, and we were like, oh, well, we should do one together. And we were just kind of like, that's silly, but then we were like, we really should. And then we did, and then we heard that MTV was kind of like looking for a late night talk show, and so we put one together and pitched it to them, and they bought it, and now it's canceled, but that's fine.
How'd that go? Well, they switched the execs or something.
Yeah, they did. They fired not fired, but I guess, yeah, I guess I can say that. Yeah, he let him go, and so they kind of took all of his shows and got rid of them as well. So I'd like to think that's the reason we got can.
I think
but,
it was because it was
yeah.
immensely popular, and people like myself DVR'd it, tuned
Oh,
in
that's
every
so
night.
nice. Thank
and,
you. It was fun.
Oh my gosh, who's going to be on next?
Yeah,
And
it was
what will
fun.
they say? And you always had such a good. And one of the keys.
That's what we were going for.
And one of the keys, I think, there was because you were so relaxed and having fun with it.
Yeah,
Something
it was
that I think
fun.
is rare. It can be tough in the talk show industry.
Yeah, it was, and it was tough on because we were constantly getting notes from the network telling us that they wanted something different, and they wanted us to. They'd say, you know what, we really want you guys to be like on your podcast where you're just like riffing. So just like go out there and just like riff, and we'd be like, perfect, we'll just riff. And they're like, we need to see a script for that. And so we're like, no, that's not what a riff is. So there was a lot of mixed messages, and we just kept feeling like, it was nice to finally, when we were canceled, it was nice to be like, Justin Bieber is a piece of shit. Like, it was nice to say that because they wouldn't let us say that, because anytime we even made a slight joke about him, we were instantly bombarded with tweets from his camp being like, and yeah, so they were very like gentle with they wanted us to like make fun of pop culture, but then they wouldn't let us make fun of pop
certain
culture.
things are off limits.
Yes.
And so it must be, see, that's what I hope to someday achieve, is just to get to a point where something is popular and then it gets canceled and then I'm free to say whatever I want.
Yeah, it was nice. It felt good.
Must be very liberating.
It was the best. Yeah, getting canceled was weird because if you have a show, I remember getting the show and being like, we're gonna be canceled someday. Like, every show's canceled unless you're Friends or Seinfeld. So I was kind of thinking like, oh my God, it's gonna be the worst thing in the world.
Coach had a good run.
Yeah, was Coach canceled?
I don't late, but it went on.
Yeah, they did have a good run,
Yeah.
but it didn't hurt as bad as I thought it would. It was really kind of like, all right, well, that was fun. Let's do something else now.
Well, and last night you were on my television on the At Midnight
Oh
program.
Yeah, that's right. That's been so fun.
How did that happen? Now
That
you're here.
is just,
that
I
takes
know.
in Los Angeles.
It did yesterday. I was filming it yesterday. The world is crazy. How did I do it? I filmed that. Yeah, I love that show At Midnight. It's just like a fun game show.
It's
super stressful though.
It's a game show where you don't win anything. Just like life.
Yeah.
And, you were on there with you are one of the champions of that show.
Yeah.
Though, of not winning anything.
Yeah, exactly. I've not won a lot of things.
Yeah, you're the best at it.
A lot of times.
Yeah.
It was
so
fun.
This was the celebration 100th.
Yeah, it was the 100th episode. They had on me and Ron Funges and Doug Benson, and they really were like, these are the all-stars, and it was a lot of pressure. And this is the thing, it's a really difficult show because we're not coming up with it off the top of our heads like a lot of people seem to think, which would be just impossible because the jokes are too good. And so we don't get the material until the day of, like a couple hours before. And as a girl, you're in hair and makeup for like an hour and a half, where the guys don't have any hair and makeup. So I have to write like this, where I'm getting eyelashes put on. So it's really stressful. But luckily they have people on staff who come and help you kind of brainstorm and write too. And they come with, if you don't have a joke for something, they're like, well, here's a joke. And I don't like to use the jokes that they give me, even though they're like great, because the other people on the panel are seeing it too, and I want to make them laugh almost even more than people at home. Right. Like as comedians, we're always trying to like make other comedians laugh more than the audience. Sorry, audience. But I'm really shooting for these three right now, and. But yeah,
no,
so
that's what it is.
It's true.
And you were on there but one of the segments from your show, the Nikki and Sarah Live, was you went around and touched celebrities.
Yeah.
Which is really fantastic.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to know about two, because you touched Regis. So I
That's
imagine
true.
probably like a Galapagos tortoise.
Oh, he was so
probably the
sharp.
feeling.
Yeah, he was really cool. He was just like, "What are we doing? What is it?" He just didn't understand, and even
all energy, no information.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he. We waited around for like hours for him to get to set on his show that I think was recently canceled as well. But it was some weird show that we went and sat at Chelsea Piers for 2 hours waiting for him to show up. And he showed up and he was just like, what are we doing? Okay. And then we did it, and he was just so nice and sharp, and he was Regis.
Where did you touch him?
Just like all, like
Right
just.
on his shoulder.
Yeah, like.
Like skin or no
Yeah, I'm not. I think I did touch his face. I think I went like this to him and just got really. The longer we were.
Nice.
It was really satisfying. There was something about it.
The benefit is you now may be immortal.
Yeah, that's true. Oh my God, that? Is that contagious? Thank you.
I think that's how it
Oh,
works.
that's exciting.
And then, of course, you were on the show with Ron Funches last night.
Yeah.
He seems like somebody I'd like to touch.
Oh, he's great to touch. Yeah, he's
So,
just a cuddly.
If
man.
you don't know Ron, you gotta look him up. 'Cause
Yeah, you'll know him. He's gonna be.
He just
Just a
absolutely slayed
huge
me out
star.
in San Francisco, and just tears running down my face when I
Yeah,
saw
he's
him.
good.
Gosh, terrific. I'd like to touch a lot of people, I guess.
Yeah.
And so, I thank you for hustling up here. You were down at some other thing tonight.
Yeah, I was down at doing some show and then gonna do another
Down
one
with
after
the other
this.
Glazers.
Yeah.
Ilana, was Elliot
Yeah,
there too, or no?
Alana and Abby, no.
From Broad
yeah,
City, yeah.
from Broad City was there. It was funny, they brought me on stage there, and they were like, you'll know her from The Tonight Show, and, blah, 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 and Inside Amy Schumer, and they all fucking went nuts. It was like this gay pride show. So the gays love Amy Schumer. They thought she was coming up, and then I was like, hey, and they were like, boo. And I just had to apologize for not being Amy Schumer. That's the problem with having been on that show, is that credit, people hear her name and they're like, what, she's here? Yeah,
But
not
it
her.
seemed like it was a terrific event, and then you're going off to do another one after this, and they talk about you as the road destroyer.
Do they?
Somebody did.
Someone said that. That's
you comfortable
insane.
with that?
No.
Because you're on the road all the time.
I
is that
am,
right?
and I want to be not.
You want to be
It
not
sucks,
on the road?
yeah. I
You
mean,
always
it's
back
fun.
and forth between LA and here?
No, not, well, recently, but usually I'm like last week I was in Jacksonville, Florida. Like, it's usually places like that. And I'm
Wonderful.
I'm trying to start saying no to more things in my life. Because when you start in comedy, and I think in anything, you're so hungry for stage time or just to do stuff that you say yes to everything. And you're told by comedians older than you, like, just never turn down a gig, do any gig you can. And that was just ingrained in me for so long. So I just, that's why I'm here tonight. You just say yes to everything. And no, it's not at all. I'm so excited to be here. I just thought of that as I was saying it. But no, the thing is, if I didn't want to be here, I wouldn't, because I'm now saying no to things. And it's a really hard thing to do. But yeah, I have to say no to more.
Well, probably
gigs.
Florida. You could.
Florida, just chop
Say
it off.
no,
I'm not
that's
going back
probably
there.
why, yeah.
It was so bad. There was a woman in the audience who was heckling, because some guy made a joke on stage about how he's a straight guy, but he was like, I could suck a dick. Like, I literally could do it. Like, when he was just making a joke about that. And she was like, this is Jacksonville. She just kept saying that. We were like, what does that mean? And she was like, that's disgusting. And everyone was just like, that's cool. Yeah, that's Jacksonville. Like, it was so maddening how dumb they were.
Some are easier to say no to. Than
If it was up to me, I would have thrown her out. But, you can't do that all the time. I was just like, I was waiting for her to say anything during my set, and I was going to go off. I had all these things planned.
Yeah.
The word cunt was just tip of my tongue. I was so excited to use it, and then she was just like passed out drunk the whole time during my set, so I couldn't use it.
Well, so you're going to start saying no. You got the stand-up things going on all over the country.
Yeah, no.
Or to the places that you want to go to.
Starting now.
And there's some opportunity for you after Letterman. You're going to sneak into that spot.
No, I don't think so. I think it's
No, you
too
wouldn't
soon.
go back to the talk show host thing.
Yeah, I would, but I think it would be too soon to think of that way.
Yeah.
I think someone else will. Maybe I'll jump on over to VH1 or something.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
They play all the classics.
All of them.
And
Video hits one.
that sailing song, Sail Away. And now you've, of course, met a lot of great, you've had a podcast, you've had the successful talk show, you've talked to all the great Jay Leno and all the Seth Meyers, all the people. And so, how does this compare?
How does this compare?
Yeah.
I was watching you. I'm very impressed. I was gonna say you're very good at this. Interviewing people is not easy, and you did not have any pre-interview with me where you were like, "What do you want to talk about?"
That's right.
Your question to her about what are your Sunday afternoons like as a kid, that was very interesting. What an interesting question to ask someone.
Thank you.
And she had a great anecdote about carrying around the New York Times. I was just. Did they prep that? Clearly not. So you're very good. I thought we got some really interesting things out of people today.
I thought so too.
I'm glad I made it in time. Yeah, you're good.
Thank you.
And you got candy
Thank you.
on hand.
Candy
it's always
is
nice.
at the
Yeah.
ready. There's lots of good things happening. So where are we going to find you next, Nikki?
Twitter and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Instagram. I don't know. I'm going to Pittsburgh on Friday. When does this come
Pittsburgh
out?
on Friday. It'll be out next week. So
Next
people-
week? Okay.
we can
I
tweet
don't know
about
where
it.
I'm going to be. Montreal. Is this
Montreal.
do Canadians listen to
I have a
this?
huge Canadian base.
Okay, yeah, I'll be at the Montreal Comedy Festival, like
terrific.
all the whole week.
Great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you go out to Pittsburgh, have some French fries on the sandwich.
Okay. Not gonna do that.
Yeah, try it.
I know, but they do that.
Avoid
there.
it. Try to avoid it. You
Yeah.
can't. They do.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, this has been great.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this.
Can't wait for all of it, and we'll get up to Montreal to see you.
Yeah.
And I wish you all the success in the world.
Thank you.
As with all of my guests. Nikki
Yeah,
Glaser,
you're very
everybody.
sincere.
How about
Thank
this?
you.
The final guest of season 6.
Congratulations.
Sending it out in style. And how about a round of applause for all of the guests here? Anything you want to ask everybody? Last chance.
You know, this has been such a great show, I feel like I'm just speechless. It was such a good show.
We did it, ladies and gentlemen. Tim O'Reilly. How about that? Well, listen, I'd like to thank everybody involved here with the pit and all the many people that go into making this show a success. We've had a terrific season, and I'm so excited. We're going to be back September 24th for season 7 with another great one, and we'll have all good guests, and we'll do a couple little things over the summer, so I hope you all have a wonderful time. Now, till next time, I'm going to be performing an ancient fame ritual using broken shards of empty whiskey bottles and a raging fire of burning rejection letters. Now let's get back to that great music that we all enjoy. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.